All right, number 2 is an important one. Did you wash your hands?
I did. I washed them.
When's the last time you washed them?
As soon as I got home from work.
What kind of soap?
I actually used Defense soap.
And we're back. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Jiu-Jitsu Radio. It's not the name. I just been working on my radio voice again, man. Dusting off the old chops, you know.
It takes a moment to really pull the audience in, depending on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Talk slower, please. So we wanted to take a moment to talk with Coach James for a little bit, just to get another perspective on everything that's happening, especially with not COVID virus, because not that specifically, because I'm sure everybody is very sick of like hearing about it and seeing it in front of their face. Like they get it. They're washing their hands. I said it earlier. They're all Bill Murray from What About Bob? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like super
germaphobe.
Oh yeah, you know, and that's what's gonna happen. Is I feel like after all this, we're all gonna be like super OCD. What do you think?
Oh man, yeah. Like it's already become a habit. Every time I go somewhere, let me just get a little bit of hand sanitizer and work it out. Nobody's touching fist anymore. Everything is the chicken wing to say hi and bye. Like every time you hug somebody, it's almost like putting a knife to their throat. No.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I mean, it makes you wonder, like, what's gonna come of this? Like, what new societal norms will turn out as a result?
Yeah, man. I think people are gonna things that require physical contact. I think are gonna be weird for a little while after, but I think we'll probably get to a place where it may bounce from one extreme to the other because you think whatever you lack, that's what you want more of. So we may see more people show up to jiu-jitsu. That's opportunity to have some physical contact.
Basically, you know, we're gonna hopefully all want to be around each other and closer as a result of this social distancing that's occurring.
Yeah, the next movement will be social embracing.
Social embracing, yeah. Social jiu-jitsu, you know.
The next meme is going to be a hugging contest.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, though. This place is kind of creepy at night. What do you think?
A little bit, man. A little bit.
We're looking outside.
Some characters.
Yeah, we're here at nighttime, so it looks a little different. We're looking outside, and there's like creepy characters walking around. It's
no disrespect. I don't know how homeless people always get dogs. What does a homeless person always?
Yeah, who's
find
giving
a dog?
dogs to all the homeless people? That's what I'd like to know too. You know,
and they're usually not on a leash, but they just stick with the guy.
Yeah.
So when you see a homeless person and they've got a dog on a leash, it makes you question, like, who's holding who hostage here?
Yeah, it's some Will Smith right there.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I've developed some questions for you, James, that I'd like to go over with you, if that's okay.
No,
that's not okay.
No, go ahead.
Anyway, that was it for
Great episode.
Jeff's podcast. And we'll probably solicit you guys for some help with the name of this new medium that we're communicating to you guys from. So, first question for James is, have you studied and watched the solo guard retention course created by instructor Jeff Spain in its completion, and have you practiced it?
Yes, I have. And no, I haven't done the complete thing.
Okay.
But I did enjoy it. The portions that I did with everything that's going on, having all the time I need to do just that is a challenge in itself. So I do schoolwork, Jeff. I'm a part-time college student and operations manager.
Okay.
Life sucks.
Number 2. All right, number 2 is an important one. Did you wash your hands?
I did. I washed them.
When's the last time you washed them?
As soon as I got home from work.
What kind of soap?
I actually used Defense soap.
What did you dry your hands with?
I used a paper towel.
Did you sanitize after?
I did not sanitize after the paper towel. I should have. I have failed.
Do you have a box of Clorox wipes on you?
There is a box of Clorox wipes here.
I'd like for you to rub your hands in. I'm just joking. Just go ahead and...
Just go ahead and rebathe.
Yeah. Okay.
Side note, I did come up with an invention since you brought up the Clorox wipes.
Okay, we had some technical difficulties. I apologize. James was just talking about some bullshit and asked me about if somebody ate the keys off my keyboard. If you notice, I have 2 keyboards here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
I guess that is pretty obvious to everybody. So I bought one of these wireless keyboards. I imagine if I wanted to get mine fixed, I would have to send it in to the laptop people, and it would take forever to come back. And
that's a false statement, Jeff.
They made it really look like it's embedded in the...
Yeah, that's called a computer. Yeah, you can get that on Amazon.
So, James, before we were cut off, you were talking about an invention that you think is worth millions.
So, do you know what a fogger is? Like for pesticides?
Sure.
Set off a fogger in your house, get a fogger, and have it filled with Lysol. Set that dude off in your house, disinfect your whole house. Or a room in your house. Simple idea. You leave for a couple hours, come back, everything's nice and Lysol sprayed. Right now, I guarantee people would buy it. You want to buy that, don't you, Jeff?
I'm just trying to decide right now where everybody would be and what room I would start with first. What room in your house would you start with bombing?
It would definitely be the family room.
The family room?
Well, so no, I take that back. It would be my son's room because he's constantly sick.
Yeah, these kids, they catch everything.
Yeah.
And then they bring it and they share it with you. So,
they go to school, they share that. Then they come home and say, hey, look what I learned at school.
I mean, as tough as it is, schools are probably the best thing to close down now.
That'll shut down 50% of it on its own, I'm sure.
For that very reason. Moving on to the next question, James. Let me ask, this is kind of like a 2-part question. What measures have you taken to keep a routine in your household, and how do you prioritize your fitness during this time?
So for me, keeping a routine in my house, the helpful part is that my wife hasn't worked nearly as much as she has in the past. So she's kind of manning the ship, as it would be when it comes to making sure the kids are doing something educationally, making sure they're doing something physical, and obviously keeping people in the house fed and healthy. For me and my fitness, it's been kind of a challenge because obviously before the coronavirus started to spin up as quick as it was, our area just got hit by a tornado. So if you're not aware, Tennessee, Nashville, and Lebanon area were both hit pretty hard by a tornado.
Yeah, the whole area is still recovering from Mother Nature in one way, and then in right the other way, it's right on the heels is old COVID-19.
Yeah. So for me, I've been spending a lot more time at work than I normally would, but the best way to stay fit and Jiu-Jitsu ready, I guess is the best way to describe it, is try to stick to whatever your routine is. So if you would go to class on a Monday and a Wednesday from 5 to 9 or 6 to 9 or 7 to 8, whatever that may be, try to find something you can do in that time.
It's always easier to get things done when there's a group of people that can hold you accountable, right, and keep you involved and progressing. So super important. I'm glad to hear that you're starting to think about those things and getting all that stuff in order.
Something random that kind of makes it a little better is I actually put my gi on. When you get in your gi, just that first step, that's usually what at least points you in the direction of, let me find a wall I can get close to and start doing some solo drills.
Nothing keeps me from murdering all the food in my refrigerator than wearing spats and a rash guard, right? Because nothing is tighter on you and makes
shows
you feel
all your
more
flaws.
So shows all your blub. So that's a very good little trick there. Yeah, get dressed like you're going to training. You know, make it a thing. Get yourself to visualize being there. Like, that's important. I think sometimes we feel silly when we try to do things on our own, right? So part of doing live stream classes, that'll eliminate, you get to see everybody.
Yeah, which is
a really neat part of it, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
right now, afternoon or evening.
Yeah, right now.
Classes too.
I would say I'm going to have to edit that cough out.
You definitely
I'm
are.
going to have to edit that out. Sticking with your routine, people. So
Taking that first step.
So we're excited about that. Now, I have one final thing for James, and that's what advice could you give parents right now who are also struggling? We were talking earlier about how, finding things for the kids to do, keeping them busy, keeping them structured. What things can you suggest our jiu-jitsu family do?
Well, one, definitely create a routine, because from my understanding, school may not be in until the end of April. And, of course, if they go back at the end of April, you're talking about 2-3 weeks in May, and school is out for the summer if that's what states decide. But setting a routine, kids love structure. So whenever you put something in place that says, hey, at this time we're going to do this, at this time this is next, then we'll have lunch. Once you build that routine for them, you got to keep them in that mentality of this isn't summer. You could have to go back to school at any point. So no, you don't get to stay up late. No, you do have to get up early. Yes, you do have to eat breakfast. Yes, you got to get dressed like you're going somewhere. And then we're going to work on whatever we would for schoolwork. You may get a small break in between that and the next session, but you're going to act like this is school. So trying to separate them from their, creature comforts.
Yeah, I think planning ahead, right? Writing stuff out, and seeing what works best. Tailor something that's perfect for you and your family. And I'm not. I don't think James would claim to be either. Neither one of us are perfect parents, but I can assure you, it's always good to regurgitate this stuff, whether it's something that's obvious or common sense or not. It's easy to fall into lazy patterns and behaviors. Adults are just as guilty as kids are, I would say.
Yeah, because right now this is kind of uncertain times, uncharted territory for many of the people that are living today. I don't think we've ever had anything where cities and states have been shut down.
Yeah, whole entire countries and continents. It's all over the world, and I think the most important thing is hug your loved ones who are inside your home. Like, don't stop doing that. Don't start giving each other affection, right?
Yeah.
Just be smart. If somebody's leaving the house and they're coming home, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. If you gauge how many people you've come into contact with, there's ways to get out there, do what you need to do, come home and still be safe about it, including with coworkers and things of that nature as well. So
yeah, and dress for where you're working, because if you're going to a place that for some reason is still occupied, still working, wear enough clothing that skin-to-skin contact is limited. And once you get back home, whatever you're wearing, take that off, put it directly in the washing machine. Don't leave it sitting around. Go take a shower, then interact with your family. Embrace whatever you want to do.
All right. Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No, man. Just be safe. Stay clean. Talk to your people. Don't alienate yourself, because the best thing that can come out of this is you can build a stronger community.
That's a very good point. Any message for the kids?
Do what your parents say. Don't let me catch you on Fortnite, and stay active, because when you come back, we got plenty of drills and games and everything else will have you working.
Well, you heard it first here with James and I on this new news, jiu-jitsu news updating podcast.
There you go.
We got to figure out what this thing is.
I don't know. Right now it's fun and it's informative and it's hopefully helpful. So maybe we can send a name around it.